Today I want to talk about the Laetum secondary. You can get it from grinding your Zeramon faction and leveling that up and purchasing it from Caballero with some standing and whatnot. And it's really good. I talked about the Felarks earlier this week, and there was a lot of discussion about other people's favorites from the Zeramon. And the Fenmore came up a lot, and I've seen like two people mention the Laetum. So I'm like, I'll show the Laetum some love. I use this gun a lot and it's just a great workhorse weapon. You just slap it in your loadout, and you could take this thing anywhere. Whether you're farming liches, whether you're killing the thumpers in the plains of Eidolon, whether you're mobbing in a long survival mission, arbitrations. The Incarnon mode has a small AoE on it, so it just nukes the drones along with the enemies around it in arbitrations. Um, I got the most use out of it when I was farming the angels in the Zeramon. Um, just a great weapon for killing tanky targets, for just mowing down everyone. Good secondary. There's tons of good things to say about it. Time to show off the Incarnon form, unlike its relative, the Felarks, which is best used in its normal fire mode, or build up some Incarnon charge here. And like, hey man, that normal mode, nothing to scoff at, still pretty solid. But we will just chunk down all of these guys. Boom, boom, boom. And like I said, it is a monster. This weapon does its job well. There's not much to say other than what was just shown. Absolutely destroyed those guys. And in mission later, you will see it does chunk the Acolyte down just as well. And it's a very solid gun. So, before we get into the build, I'll talk about all my Incarnon perks. So first up, we have the Evolution 2 here. I choose the minus weapon recoil. This weapon doesn't really need it, but my builds, I tend to go for like coziness over like min-maxing and, making a number go from 5 damage to 6 damage, So I typically go with the cozier options. Fire rate, higher DPS, not a bad option at all. And the movement speed while aiming, not a bad at all. You could pretend you have Stalker equipped for Modern Warfare 3, if you know what I'm talking about. These are all perfectly fine. I prefer the cozy option with the minus weapon recoil. On to the next one. On headshot, you get bonus reload speed. And I know you're probably thinking like, dude, you're in the Incarnon 24/7. What the heck are you reloading? Last time I checked, and I remember, reload speed affects swapping forms between Incarnon and normal. If that's changed, let me know, but it still feels like that's the case. So I like this, so I can go from Incarnon mode to normal mode really quick, back and forth when I'm switching out. Magazine reloaded when holstered. Sadly, this doesn't work on the Incarnon form. If you could have infinite Incarnon with this, that would be insane and be like the best in slot option every single time, but it does not work like that, so we're not picking it. And then gain ammo efficiency while aim gliding and sliding. I could see this, you could do some fun builds because the very last evolution has some ammo efficiency shenanigans going on. So I could see a world, there's probably a fun gimmicky ammo efficiency Laetum build. That's not what we're here for today though. As for our next one, we have bonus headshot damage. I think this is just, it's bonus headshot damage. This thing's great for bossing. It'll help you with your mobbing just as much as well. Just go for the bonus damage here. It feels good. Headshots build quicker transmutation charge. This isn't the worst thing in the world. I could definitely see where and why you'd pick this one up. But bonus damage is hard to get, hard to just not pick this. Especially easier to hit headshots with our minus weapon recoil there on Marksman's Hand. So those two go very well together. Bonus status chance, minus critical chance. I don't think you really want this because of the last perk we're going to pick, and we'll talk about that now. Overwhelming attrition. On a hit that is neither a critical nor applies a status effect, plus 400% damage for 10 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. We are built for crit on my mod screen, which you'll see, but this is very easy to upkeep because this weapon's a bullet hose. You're just sending so many shots down range. It's very easy to upkeep this buff, even while building for crit. Obviously, don't supplement this at all. Don't run the Laetum and Harrow. Don't run Avenger. Don't run a Darza Kabat. Don't do any flat crit chance buffs on your Laetum, or else you probably won't be able to upkeep this as well. But Reaper's plenty on headshot, bonus ammo efficiency. Like I said, there is probably a gimmicky build you could do with the aim gliding one and this one, and you could have a fun time, but not what we're here for. Now, Devouring Attrition. This is the same kind of this is the same exact perk that the Fellarks has. And you're probably wondering, why are we not building for it? But that's because this one, I think it edges it out just a little bit more. And also, like I said, you can build for crit and keep this buff active. If this buff didn't have a timer and it didn't stack and you couldn't refresh it, I'd build for this. But this Overwhelming Attrition perk just has so much going for it. I think it's worth every single time. Now we'll talk about my mod menu. It looks a little bit odd. You could probably see why. What is there to talk about? Galvanized Fusion, tons of multi-shot, Lethal Torrent, Fire Rate multi-shot. We want to upkeep that buff. The more bullets going out, and the ones that don't crit or apply status, we're upkeeping our damage buff. So that's absolutely fire. Like I said, we're built for crit because it's 66% crit rate. It's very easy to upkeep the buff. As you saw if you were paying attention to the top right in the showcase, our buff was active the entire time we were killing those guys. So it's a bunch of bonus damage. You should go for it. Why not? As for this, what damage type you mod for, it really, really doesn't matter. I'm going to be honest. A lot of people will build for raw radiation and cold damage. Be my guest. If you want to build for gas and blast, be my guest. I just have viral heat on here because it's viral heat. I probably never need to swap it out. There are some cases where if I'm farming like a heavy target that's weak to radiation, like the ropalyst, sometimes the ropalyst is a Nightwave bounty. I'll switch to radiation. Sometimes if I know I'm going to farm some angels in the Zeramon, I'll switch to radiation. But viral heat is going to be good for about 99% of the stuff you're doing. You're not even proccing it that much with our low status chance. And when you do proc it, it feels good. It's nice. It's some bonus damage. It's some heat procs. It's whatever. Anything else to talk about here? Yes, our empty mod slot. I don't have an extra forma in this thing because I don't feel like putting 5 forma on my Laetum here. But you can. And what would I put here? I would put a Hornet Strike. I would put a Fire Rate mod. Seeker probably wouldn't be too bad for mobbing and punch through. If you wanted to be super, super sweaty and min-maxed, any of the Expel mods here would be sick. Yeah, these will all do just as well for whatever you're fighting. You could really, really put whatever here. But at the end of the day, I like to chuck on Auger Pack. I mean, it's just more damage. Obviously, it's not like we're getting that much out of it with like the diluting of the bonus damage and everything going on. But I mean, it's whatever. It really doesn't matter. This gun's absolutely nuts. You don't need to squeeze every little drop of milk out of this cow. It puts in work no matter what. Honestly, you could run it like this and be just fine. As for arcanes, you can really, really run whatever. If you're farming bosses, like I like to do, the Zeramon, the Angel, has a really easy headshot. So Deadhead is not bad for that, and it's really easy to get headshots with the primary fire instead of the Incarnon. So Deadhead, not a bad option. If you're firing into a Bullet Sponge, like the fragmented one on Deimos, that boss fight, you're going to be able to refresh your heat procs so often. Cascadia Flare is really good for firing into bullet sponges that you can stack heat on. So that's an option. But Merciless is just like your go-to lazy option. Just like you want some damage. The fire rate for switching Incarnon mode. It's just there to work and be good. But Flare is awesome. Deadhead's awesome. Merciless is awesome. I could see you if you wanted to be tanky and you want utility. You could run secondary fortifier and get that overguard. That's definitely an option. But like I said, Merciless, Deadhead, Cascadia Flare, all 3 of these, you cannot go wrong. And fortifier is also an option. So that's my build. Those are the Incarnon perks. There's really nothing else to yap about here in the simulacrum. And the last thing to do is to just go hop in the mission and spray down a hallway in this thing. So I'll see you there. Alright, we're here on some Lua survival in the steel path. And we're just gonna hold left click the entire time with the Laetum and have a good time. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, never mind, I just got my gun stolen. Boop. We got it back. Alright, yeah. So we're chilling. There's not much to say. Worth mentioning, if you look in the top right next to my shield bar, you will see that my overwhelming attrition buff will basically be active at all times, even though we're building for crit. So you don't have to worry about that not going away and not having your damage buff. It's a lot better than the Felarx perk on the Laetum itself. Yeah, so we are just going to chill here with our Laetum and try to keep it in Incarnon mode as much as possible. If you see, we got some AoE on this thing, which is nice, on the tip of it when the shots explode. So that is very nice for mobbing these hordes of enemies. That's why we're not running anything like the Condition Overload mod, Galvanized Shot, on the Laetum here. We don't want the extra status chance. And it's basically an AoE gun, even though the bolt itself does have some single target. And that's not going to proc on the AoE tip. Boom. Oh, I wish you could recast Gara too. Well, I know you can recast Gara too, but I don't want to use my 4 and my 1 here. I just want to use the raw Laetum and whatnot. We do have a little bit of a help from our Sentinel freezing the guys and giving us a little bit of bonus crit damage. But I mean, it's not really moving the needle. This thing's a monster no matter what. And if you yourself are running this, you're probably running some kind of damage buff in your loadout anyways, so. But trust, I mean, it's not really shaking the moon. Ooh, that's nice. That was a nice horde of enemies taken down there. Yeah, but, this thing's a monster. All the Zeramon, I'm not a fan of the melee weapons, I will say. The Praetos is good for parkour velocity, and the Inodem has some cool gimmicky builds with it. There's like a cool attack helicopter wisp build you can do with the Inodem, and the Praetos is just a slight attack melee. It doesn't really do anything super crazy, but I mean, it does have good slight attacks. If you want a slight attacking Tonfa, it is there. It is an option. As for the Fenmore, I'll probably talk about the Fenmore. The Fenmore's definitely worth talking about. That thing's a beast. It's kind of like the Bursted Incarnon before the Bursted Incarnon came out. Just high fire rate, high status, decent damage, bullet hose weapon. So I do think the Fenmore is worth talking about, and you can get it so early. It's definitely worth the honorable mention. But yeah, we are 3 minutes deep, and we're kind of chilling. I don't know where the heck our Acolyte's at, but he needs to show up soon. So we can murk that fool. Just another chill day. It's going to be a bit of a mundane period for the next 3 weeks until Ileweaver comes out. Not much to talk about, per se, until it update. Not really getting anything between there. Is there any events coming out? Are they doing dog days before Ileweaver? That would be cool if we get dog days started for the summer before Ileweaver comes out, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they're rerunning the Ghoul events. I don't know. I don't think anything's going on with like TennoCon and the Ileweaver release date. Maybe we'll get some workshops. Maybe we'll get to see the Spider Frame's abilities early. And I know they mentioned some kind of showcases this week, next week for Ileweaver. So maybe we'll see. Since they're not doing a traditional dev stream for Ileweaver, since we have TennoCon coming up, that won't be happening. So I do believe there are some mentionings of showcases before Ileweaver. But, I mean, I am just a player of the game like you, so I don't know more than anyone else. Oh, there's our Acolyte. We did get some sentients, too. I think they might already be dead. Oh, no, they're right here. They just spawned. There's the AoE. I don't have Prime sure-footed. That Acolyte's dead. I'm getting tormented with rain. Tormented with rain. And he's dead. And we'll kill these Thrax. Ah! Okay, wait. We gotta activate life support. I'm surprised we have to activate life support at 430? Or 430 kills in 5 minutes? That should be, like, clean. Might have been a skill issue on my part. Too much yapping and not picking up life support when I mow guys down. That guy's taken care of. Boop, 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 boop. Hardest part here is getting my weak point kills to get my Incarnon back up. But that's an Acolyte kill. That's Thrax kills. Those are Sentient kills in the Steel Path. I mean, not much to say about the Laetum here. I was kind of mostly able to yap and mow these guys down. Bit shocked. We kind of got boned on life support drops there with 430 kills in 5 minutes. I know it's not 100 KPM. It's not perfect, but I'm a bit shocked. Let's put our glass of protection and let this mission fail out. It's whatever. That's the Laetum. It does an extremely good job as a secondary weapon that you can get pretty early from the Zeramon. And I can't recommend it, honestly. You could do a loadout of full Zeramon weapons with like the Felix or the Fenmore, the Laetum, and then a melee weapon of your choice. I'd probably pick the Kratos for the parkour velocity, and you will have an awesome time. So get a Laetum today.